You already know Ease in the building. I want to thank my Heavenly Father, the archangels, regular angels, our ancestors, extended ancestors, all divine beings, all light beings, all high vibrational beings, all timelines, dimensionals, portals, multiverses, parallel universe, the all in all to infinity fold. There's a lot that needs to be said, need to be so, shown, and also enlightened. You know, since my awakening, I don't even know which one that was is that, but that my awakening in 2024, April 8th, on that solar eclipse. It opened me up into, a new world, a world that, you know, is known, but not a lot of people, dive in or truly find their home there. Some find it in religion, some find it in spiritualism, some find it in truly living free. The creator, the all in all, you know, the all that ever is, the one that ever was, and the one that will ever will be, the Alpha Omega, truly. I got a lot of different variations that, I have put in, you know, in my words, what the divine or what, God is saying through his word, or not even in his word, through life itself. All of us know, but for some reason, we taught to deny it, or we taught to not to believe in it. Taught that it's nonsense. And if you want to, you know, prosper or, elevate in this world, you gotta, be already born with a silver spoon where, they would, definitely make sure you have an education to be able to so-called manage it, because, even them fuck up. Um, there is no different, there is no hierarchy. The ones that, if we feel is living better than us or having stuff that or able to, indulge in things that we may not be able to. Are we losing something? No. Do you want to experience that? If you want to experience that, there's ways to go about it, but it's not the ways that we taught. It's not about money. It truly ain't. It's about embodying money. It's about truly being what you see or what you feel you want to be. And if you don't have a dollar in your pocket, you don't have a bank account, you know, you in a shelter, you living with somebody, or however your situation is, instead of us, and it's not wishful thinking, start seeing yourself there, truly seeing yourself there, truly having those things, constantly daydream or even night dream, when you sleep, you know, walk the walk, talk the talk, learn what needs to be learned for the possibilities to, flourish. Nothing happens overnight. That's, that's why, in religions or, philosophical people, they able to, point at things that is a wonder of life, like a seed. There's many different seeds, and if you put them in the ground, or you know they on ground and not being tampered with for however long it needs to, be in that state, it will sprout. If it's in the dirt, it will, take root, and from there's a process. Before it even sprout, there's a process. The seed does something from the inside, and it kills itself. And I know you're bugging. You're like, how the seed kill itself? It will become a tree. It's no longer a seed. The seed that it was is no longer that. It's in its evolved form as a sprout. And then as time go on, you know, other little sprouts come out of that sprout until it starts to fight upwards. And as it fight upwards, the roots are, fighting downwards. This is the evolution of that. So now that the sprout grew roots and pops out the ground, it's still a little sprout, but it's not just a sprout, it's a sprout with a leaf on it. And the longer it survives, if the soil is good, the weather is good, it's not, it don't get ripped up, it don't get beat up, it don't get frozen out, it grows. We have all seen thin trees. We all have seen thick trees. We all know that trees come from seeds. We also know any plant takes time for it to grow. So for it to gain that size and whatever depth, width, or in any direction, how many branches and all, it's through time. And it didn't happen overnight. What we see might have took years, might have took hundreds of years. You know, I'm not a tree person. I can't tell you, how long a tree could take, but I could look that up. So that's not hard, and that's what everybody here. There's information out there that will open up your mind. Some of the information that's out there that you don't know about. When it does pop up and you see it, it will feel like home. And you'd be like, hold on, yo, I know about that. Like, hold on, this is what I've been talking about since I was a kid. You know, and that's all through exploring. I also told you that our Heavenly Father, which is our Father, and we all know Father, Mother, whatever. We Father and Mother, you know, Father God, Mother Earth, the same shit, because He pulled us out the ground, so you gotta call her Mother, and almost everything that's there is taken care of by her. All the animals, all the grass, all the insects, we all abide in her. Alright? Like I said, it's just so many ways. So getting back, getting back to it, we don't have no excuse. We really don't have no excuse, especially now that we have technology. It's only shit. Press a button and speak it, type it, and press a button and it'll find what you want and what you didn't want. But if you look through that stuff, you'll find what you want. And 9 times 10, what you ask for, it is that. But it's just not the reference point or what you was looking for in that, right? Until you find it, until you find the right one. Back in the days, we'd have had to read a lot of books, go to run to the library, buy a lot of books. You know, a lot of times, be to yourself and quiet. That's why the libraries, you get shh, and you're making too much noise, or you make a noise. It's because you taking the individual out the zone, whatever zone they in, to check out their surroundings, and you don't know who's there, not just for entertainment. You have some individuals that's there for true knowledge, things that we might not even think about to even put our hands on, which we should. And if we don't dive deep, how do you know you ain't gonna dive deep if you don't even put your feet on, dip your toe in the water, see where it go, see if it scare you or if you like it or not. If it scare you, then all right, no problem. You can swim back, close the book, forget about it. But just know you will know what you know from what you acquired from the time that how far you went, how far you went. Um, but you know, you don't have to do random. You can look for what you want. You know, what intrigues you, what ignite your fancy or whatever, and go from there. It will lead you to other stuff that ain't that stuff, but it goes inside to that stuff. So it will introduce you to more of a knowing of what you thought you knew or what you wanted to know. And my speech or how I'm speaking, it could be intellect, it could be logic, it could be you know my education or how I educated myself, educated, educated myself. but we all we all do that. We all do that in our own way. Some of us stopped ourselves from doing that because other people didn't like what we was doing. But yet we can't stop them from doing what they want to do. That don't, that don't sound funny. That don't sound backwards. But yet, you know, we allow it. Even the ones that, you know, that's doing it to you. They learned it from somewhere. That's how, you know, that's how it starts. You know, oh, it's the initiation, part of that gang shit. You know, and a gang is just a club. A gang is just a, a family of people that, you know, so called in this in on the same vibe, so called, you know, like in whatever the club or cult or gang, you know, associates itself with. You know, it's just like how we used to, not how we used to, how some people used to have that carry, you know, in the school category, and we learned a lot of that watching movies and shit. For real, because when I was in school, I didn't look at nobody as the cool kids or what you call the, you know, the nerds or the, you know, the geeks and so, you know, all the other you will want to call it. I knew it existed, but it didn't hold no weight for me. Like, how are they the cool kids? How are they the geeks? How are they? All of all of us have the same education. All of us is able to acquire the same things. If you wanted to be, you know, smart, real smart in whatever you wanted to be real smart in, you'd have dived in it. So how they became nerds, or they they were just individuals that jumped into that knowledge that they wanted to acquire, just like however y'all did it. If you didn't, then that's what made y'all cool. You was the cool kids because what? You smoked cigarettes, you smoked weed, you cut class, you know, you hung around girls, or you know, you hung around the boys. But you know, your family had money, or you know, you was a little better off than others. Like how that makes you cool. That just make you have more, or you know, have a little more. Right? Right? But you know, this is the little categories that you know that they programmed us to file ourselves under. You know, get programmed like and then if you don't do that, if you don't be one of us or get with a certain sect, you'll be by yourself. Like, yo, you need somebody to protect you, that you go, you know, that you gonna need help. Okay, you who you go to help for? The people that you know you in that gang with, right? Or you know, cult or you know, club or whatever, biker gang, car club, whatever. You know, it's all the same shit. That's who you run to. I don't have a problem with that. That's cool and all. As you go, you know, everybody need somebody, or you know, but say an individual like me that a lot of clubs don't, you know, not saying they don't won't allow me in, but I'm not associated with no clubs. But yet I'm able to talk to all clubs, hang out with all clubs, hang out with any of those individuals, and also get help if I need it. I'm not just stuck to my group, no matter how big, small, whatever. My gang is bigger than your gang because my gang holds all gangs. It's a part of all gangs. You know how like you got the big homies, you got the well, I don't know all about the gangs, but the top niggas. I know top niggas. I'm cool with a lot of them. I could throw kites. I could have yo, check this out, man. I could have those things happen, but why would I do that? Like, I'm not saying no disrespect to none of the how y'all do things or whatever, but at the same time, you know, I'm just speaking on how y'all do things, like, right? I can't just do what I want. I would have to go through somebody, right? What better way instead of me hooking off or busting off, and because that individual is associated with these individuals, I got a problem with these individuals because of the stupidness of that individual, not the stupidness of me. Because I'm not, I'm not looking for the problem. I would never look for the problem. Life is too short for the problem. And if I did have to do something like that, truly, truly, and y'all all know it takes a lot, or at least the individuals that know me, then they really can't deny it. You know, it's easy to be run up, come upstairs, grab a bat, grab an axe, grab a machete, grab a sword, grab a hammer, which will grab a knife, you know, get a hand on a weapon and go out there and do what everybody else do. Like, is it hard? I'm asking everybody in the world. Is it hard? You might not feel that you want to do that or not to be doing shit like that. Not because of the law, because of the life or the seriousness of it. Because as it happens to that person, it can happen to you too. All right, number one, for instance, the people, you know, we all know who bust their guns in in our community. That's their rep, or they got teardrops under their eyes or what have you, or injured, you know, some motherfucker. How do they normally go? No matter how many they take, but how do they normally go? Do they go easy or they go some crazy mishap, fucked up way, or out of the clear blue type shit? Shit come back, and if it don't come to them, it will touch the closest thing to them. All of us know it. All of you, ask any gang member, have they lost somebody that that they truly cared about, that they truly loved, family, friend, colleague, whatever. You see people still burning candles, wearing R&P shirts on anniversaries, and all that. They was close to somebody, if not all. Is these things not true? So I truly don't want to be any of those individuals. Y'all remember me, from somebody cutting my shit short, even if they didn't, because God controls all things. So if they did able to put me down, is because God seemed it fit. But imagine how that person is going, because like I said, I don't bother me. Yeah, like I said, come on, man. It's not hard, man. It's not hard to be, you know. And then y'all do it all wrong in the field anyway. Because y'all be doing it, y'all in your field. I'm not gonna be in my field. I know it's time to go to work. I don't have plenty of time to, design hundreds of thousands of ways to do this job. So you guys don't want to let me, don't want to bother, don't even know what bother. For whatever reason, y'all separated or don't like each other, it goes, to that level. We want to take each other, I don't want to see that person breathing. I don't want to see that person face no more. Then leave that person alone. Move, or if that person, is about theirs, they're what you call, they'll fuck around and move. Who 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 wants to live in, God, it happens, that it is a choice. But 9 times out of 10, it wasn't their first, their first choice. You know, everything changed, man. Sometimes it needs to change. You know, put your every day of your life. You just think your block. You never been into another state. You never, you've been on a boat. You never, come on. Like, only thing you know is your hood. God forbid, you got some people that never even been downtown. Never stepped out their borough. You know, that's, you know, I don't call that living. I don't call none of the shit that we doing living. To tell you the truth, uh, I'm trying to, show a different way of doing things, and it's not even my way. It's what you call, our heavenly, all creator way. You know, things of righteousness, things of meekness, things of togetherness, things of love, things of growth, things of prosperity, things of abundance. Just be just serious with this, man. It's not a game. We all know the stakes. You know, some of us feel that we got, dealt a bad hand, but you have seen plenty of people throughout the ages come from nothing into something, and all of them have a story, and every story show a struggle, show a hardship, show a growing in whatever they was trying to grow in. Mhm. You know, we think we live in life, but a lot of us is playing life, and at the end of the day, we all gonna have regrets of our life. Especially, you already know. Before we go, it's like they say, your life flashes. If you see your whole life flash in front of you, that's not just the same. That's also part of all of creation, knowing what you denied, and there's no more time to fix it. And if it not that, then you smiling. You know where you going, or where you going already appeared to you, and it's telling you welcome. Right? But and everybody have regrets, and your regrets is not what you didn't do. It's what you did. That's the crazy part. We all believe that the regrets will be, oh, if I didn't have that, or I didn't do this, you call this wouldn't happen and that wouldn't happen. You're not thinking about none of that, or like that. You're thinking about all the shit that the underhanded shit, the sneaky shit, the shit that nobody else should know except for you, unless they was there with you, type of shit. It's real, man. But let me get into the story, right? So, boom, for you know, for all the clubs, all the gangs, all the clubs, code, covens, clubs, driving clubs, motorcycle clubs, karate clubs, whatever. If you in a club, I'm talking to y'all. And even if you ain't in a club, I'm talking to y'all. Picture God as the biggest gangster, which he is, or she, have, you know, he, she. Not being funny, but however you want to, see it. Do you see how he run his shit? The ones that's really with him, don't have a care in the world. They don't have to look over their shoulder. They don't have to lift up their weapon. Only thing they have to do is speak their father's name. They can run up on them and Dad, Jesus, Heavenly Father, Muhammad, whatever, however, Allah, you know, whatever your preference, you know, your true absolute God. Not the one that want to act like God, but the one that's gonna, you know, I know I didn't tell you to do that. When you got the one that's going, yo, that was so fun. That was some good shit you just did, yo. I like that. That, that wasn't that's not God talking to you. And you know it's some underhanded, you know, trifling, wicked shit that you into or being performed. You don't even have to be into it. But, you know, when you performing it, if you feeling a pat on your back or, you know, pat on your chest like you did right. No, that's the devil congratulating you on coming to his side, which he ain't gonna tell you he don't like it as motherfuckers. So, like, if you don't believe me, they done told it in other movies. All right, but we going to be taking it to, you know, the Greek gods right now. Those gods, you know, in using those names. You know, you got Zeus, and then who you got? Who was doing the underworld? Hades, right? Zeus, um, you know, Zeus and Hades are both gods, right? He's the god of, you know, the god of the heavens, and he's the god of death, right? And they brothers. Yeah. There was a conversation in one of these movies. I can't, you know, remember the movie exactly, but it was a conversation in the movies with, you know, Zeus and Hades. And Hades was trying to kill Zeus. I think this Clash of the Titans is so I think this Clash of the Titans the second one, but the new version. You know, the up to date version, not the 19 whatever, but the, you know, the 2000s. Once it's in the 2000s. Oh man, your conversation. Hades was mad at Zeus because he felt he was tricked into that position. Because, you know, nobody really praised, you know, Hades or, you know, Lucifer. But, you know, God got all the praise and the gods that, you know, he, you know, that reigned under him got praises. But he didn't get no praise. So he didn't get no strength. Or he didn't feel he was getting strength. The only strength he was getting is, you know, the dead. Not just the dead, but the spiritually dead. So what do Hades do to get back at Zeus? He started what you call doing his job, overdoing his job. Okay, oh, you getting all the praise? All right, well, I'm gonna take that praise away from you. I'm gonna start, you know, having, you know, the people that do fuck with me start wiping out your people so you can't get that praise. I want y'all, you know, to just imagine right now that no matter which one you pick, but you gotta pick both. You know, pick one first and then pick the other. And, you know, through your imagination, who you think is living better. A lot of y'all would say God was, because, you know, Zeus was miserable, you know, Hades, you know, Zeus, you say Zeus was because Hades was miserable. You just seen that where he was, there's no life, no joy, no beauty. But it has its own beauty, but that's all it was. Just all that. All its beauty was the same. Dead. Picture, and a lot of us have experienced this, doing the same thing every day, eating the same thing every day, you know, every day on a constant clockwork. The same exact thing. Picture eating the same food every day. Which a lot of us do that too. You know, you got the, you know, the schedule. You know, chicken day, pork chop day, steak day. You know, mystery day, whatever. You know, and that's if you, you know, some people just work on the fly. You know, what they decide to eat, they pull out when they're hungry. They gotta wait for it to thaw out and then get it together. Because, you know, a lot of people, unless, you know, they get it out early, they play, you know, they thought about that earlier, what they wanted to eat for that night, and, you know, do it that way. But 9 times out of 10, like me, I'll wait unless, you know, I got a taste for something. Then that would have been already taken out and taken care of, because it was thought of like that, you know. So, but serious people, that gets back to, you know, the good king, and, you know, the warlord, you know, the you know, the power hungry king, the one that's blood guts and carnage, you know, take over, you know. If you don't, if it's not my way, you gonna feel it, you know, type shit. Which land do you wanna live in? You wanna live in that is, you know, only the strong survive, or that no matter what level you are, you're gonna survive to be strong. These are the choices that we make every day. Who we following? We following, you know, the overlord, you know, that, you know, Billy Badass, until, you know, you get taken down, because that's how they go. They get taken down. They get taken down either from you know, a rival king, you know, a rival, you know, or somebody that they chose to be a rival or a conqueror to, and fall to that king, you know, fall to that queen, however, you know, however y'all say. And if it don't happen that way, it happens through from within. His son, his brother, his wife, you know, like, come on, his lover. You know, his best friend. The same with her. Same, vice versa. So that's why he's so ah, cause he got to be like that, cause he's scared as shit. He got to keep y'all scared so y'all don't kill him or her. And those type of kings and queens don't give a fuck about y'all. They give a fuck about them. When you out there fighting for him or her, it's because you scared of him or her. And you know if you don't, you gotta deal with him or her or the people that fuck with him or her. And you already know how y'all all living over there. So nine times out of ten, you get what the getting because you don't want to smoke from your own, from within. Now, the good king, the good gangster, he's loved, he's cherished as he loved and cherished his community, his people, his kingdom. He makes sure that they good, so they make sure that he's good. Yeah, you got people that come to the kingdom that, you know, want to smoke. But what do the king do? Call his soldiers to mount up, to, line up, and he's on his horse in his armor, just like everybody else, coming to see what's good, bringing the smoke, seeing who wanted the smoke. Do the king will always come out? No, the king don't always come out. It depends on what type of king he is. But I guarantee you, he done came out a lot for him not to be able to come out. But he gets to sit, I need y'all to take care of it. And he was taken care of because he earned his stripes. It's not that he was just king. Kings are about it. Kings, name one good king that wasn't a warlord, that didn't have to defend his kingdom, that didn't lead the parade, front line, or, behind the scenes. The king was on the battlefield somewhere, protected or not. Mm-hmm. So that's how y'all want to live. I'm talking about worldly. So the ones that want to live, you know, that survival of the fittest, y'all get half the planet. You get half the planet, and y'all stay on your side. We stay on ours. And the only interaction that we should have is either, you know, imports, you know, if getting, receiving your goods and y'all receiving our goods, if y'all want to do that, because some people are funny like that. Or and if y'all got good people, people that not trying to live that life, Even though they brought up over there, y'all could send them, send them young. Send them young, don't send them as no adult. The kid is going to get wiped out, or, and I'm not talking about as he older. I'm talking about as infants. What you call it, I can't protect this. You know what I'm saying? Send them our way. Send her or him our way. We'll gladly take them and make sure they good. And hopefully y'all could do the same when we run into our young that really think that they want to be and living that lifestyle. Where they, you know, not saying because we all gonna be able to fight. Don't get it twisted just because we gonna be good that we ain't gonna be able to defend ourselves. You already know we ain't playing that shit. But we'll send you the ones that that want to go, that show it. That, like I said, show it. They don't have to speak it. When we see them living it and we speak to it, and it falls on deaf ears a little too many times, then yeah, you can have him or her, and I know y'all gladly accept because y'all need individuals like that, right? So that'll be our peace treaty there. Y'all stay on your side, we stay on our side, and we interact with the imports, you know, how you say, morally, you know, you know, with ethics, no underhanded shit, no, you know, nothing sneaky from either party. And we good, everybody. But instead of doing that, let's all be good. Like I said, God is the biggest gangster. Name one person that God was protecting that got hurt. And if they did get hurt, they still was good. Like, for real. Whatever you lose, God can give back to you. We done, we haven't witnessed it, but we done heard about him replacing eyesights. We done heard him, what you call, bringing back the dead. We heard him heal people of whatever ailments that they have. Who, who, who don't want to rock with that? And the only thing you have to do is acknowledge and live the way that needs to be lived, and it's the lifestyle of happiness, of caring, concern, abundance, being seen, being heard, as seen and hearing. Who in any community that's going through something wouldn't want the whole community, everybody, help them out in their situation, hear them in their complaint, you know, console them in their confusion, or whatever the situation is. You want to be heard, you want to be seen. That's why people act out. Why do shit, say shit, lie about shit, to be seen, to be heard, just not knowing eventually they'll be seen, they will be heard in the way that they didn't want to be seen and heard. For real. Only time you got your ass chopped when you was with the Lord or was truly following the Lord, because He know everything. To see if you would, turn your back on Him, curse Him, be angry with Him, when you know, Daddy, Daddy is not there all the time, but He definitely here on time, and that's all the time. You know the saying, God is good all the time, and all the time He's good. True statement, facts, and that's just in life, period. Think about it. How many hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of years, or billions of years, Mother Gaia been sitting in her place sustaining us, sustaining all things that's upon her. Think about it. Even if you want to say the world it'll be the end of the world one day. A meteor, another, something that just destroy the whole planet. God forbid. Which that is a projection of wicked thinking upon all of creation here. Not just all of man, not just but all of creation here. That is a hell of a projection. mm, You know, that's a projection that nobody should want to project, play around with it, joke about it, even ponder that. That's something you don't think about. You shouldn't have to think about. You in God's hand. God take care of all, not just here, everywhere. You understand? And then like I said, it's been said, it's been written that we're His greatest creation, His prideful creation. He, he has so much pride in us. Showed heavenly entities, spirits, angels, the host of all of existence to behold us and worship us. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I want y'all to, really grab that. All of creation. We're not just talking about here. All of creation. Every heavenly body, every heavenly spirit, every heavenly star, moon, oyster, not oyster, what you call comet, asteroid, black hole. What to worship us? Do you feel worthy of that? Seriously, do you feel worthy of that? As I'm speaking, as you just heard that, do you feel worthy of everything? Worshiping. That's something only God gets. You know, creation itself only gets that. But yet, all of creation said, give honor to you. And I ask the question again, do you feel you deserve that type of honor? And if any one of us say, yeah, God forbid, you, you know, you put yourself on the spot, you put yourself in a hell of a bind. And when he come in, you remember when you said, I hope you, I hope you correct your, your outline, the way you process, you know, change, change the way of thinking, that programming, because he does do this. Because first he whispers, he try to get your attention this way, he try to get your attention that way, he try to get your attention this, then he, huh? That that serious cold, that mysterious illness that no doctor could tell you why or know what to do to out of nowhere, just crazy, unpredictable, horrible stuff just start happening. And we wonder why we scared, we panicking. And who do we yell for? Oh God, help me. And if he don't answer, you should know why. It's not that he don't hear you. He want to see if you truly about what you talking. But eventually, you know, you being ignored or you feeling you're not being heard, you'll show your true self again, which you already know you before you understand? Yeah, so when you think you playing the game, you at a loss. This is another reason why I say there are no games. You don't play games. You don't play games in life. You play board games, you play video games, you play sports games, but you don't play with people's lives. You don't play in people's lives. Because at the end of the day, you get played, man. For real, God got a funny way of making shit look a certain way. And then when he snatched the the blindfolds or the web out from our eyes, we'd be like, oh shit, how do we get here? And be scared to death or die instantly. Or go go into uh, a broken state, mentally broken state, because you don't understand how you was playing this game, but yet the game was playing you. And it's not that the people was playing the game on you. It's that because you was playing the game or thought you was playing the game, when you realized that it wasn't a game or it ain't a game, that reality of it from the denial is a hell of a shock, because what you thought you was getting away with was just revealing you, showing yourself. That's what God's silence. When you speak to him, you are truly speaking to him, even if you ain't him or her, even if you don't think you speaking to him. Like right now, I'm like, yo, I'm just so sick and tired of this fucking bullshit, yo. I just need you. I want. He hears all that, but not one time you said Heavenly Father. Did you go? Not one time you said good morning. Not one time you said, you know, thank you for another day. Not one time you. But yet we saying what we want, what we want, what we want, or what's going wrong, what's going wrong, what's going wrong. And he's saying, I hear you, but are you hearing me? I'm telling you what to do. You see what needs to be done. You know, you remember that conversation that you walked past and they said something that caught your ear? Then later on that day you heard a truck driver or the bus maitre dean or, you know, one of your girlfriends that you call was speaking on it and stuff like that. That, you didn't jump on, that you heard it, but you trying that, or you heard it and just didn't know it was for you, which that could happen too, 'cause if you ain't aware, like a lot of people don't know, God talks to us every single day through music, through the TV, through your friends, through your lovers, through your children, through nature, through everything, man. You just gotta be able to open yourself to hear all. That's the crazy part. But yet we say close the what you call block out the noise. But yet you want to hear all of the spiritual world, all of your inner, all of your mental, all of your third eye, all of your being, and block out the noise so you can hear your Heavenly Father talk to you through all things when you come out of your quiet spot, your quiet place. Meditation is not just a mental thing, it's a godly thing. It helps those individuals in tune with themselves, which is God. God lives inside of each and every one of us. We just gotta allow him to shine through. We keep on resisting him. We feel he's weak, but yet I don't know not one battle he lost. Can anybody tell me a battle that God lost? Um, I don't think you could do it. Nobody could do it. Name one battle God lost. Name how many now, since you know I pondered that, you might have even answered that, which it should be if there's anything other than what God you dealing with. My God can't be defeated. My God is forever if I'm here or not, if I'm in this vessel or not. You know, if I'm not in another vessel, you know, in the future or in the past. That God could throw you anywhere. He could pluck you up, throw you into the future, and I mean crazy fall. Or he could pick you up and throw you back in the past. Truly. No time machine, no nothing. Phase you out and phase you into whatever timeline he or she, you know, spirit wants you to reside in. It ain't nothing you can do about it except for connecting with all of creation, being who and what God needs you to be, and state your requests. He's not saying you can't live, but he's saying, I need you to live a certain way. Not saying you can't, you know, do a mixture, and it's not even a mixture. It's go ahead and indulge yourself, but don't get lost in your indulgence. Know that I'm allowing you to relax for this moment. But don't get too comfortable with it because I need you back on your shit, and can't be on your shit doing that. And if you continue doing that, I'll pluck you up, put somebody in your position, put somebody else in that position. How many people in the Bible you done seen he lift up from nothing, made them great for them to fall badly, greatly, just like as great as they got throwing up. And then I want you to think about this. How many of them jump back on the right path and he restored them? Hmm? And how many he didn't? For real, for real. All right. Like when Moses led his people out of Egypt, and they already crossed through what you call it, the Red Sea or whatever, however you parted the sea, and they cut through to the other side of the ocean, and then had to do some traveling to get to their promised land, but yet they got rerouted. Instead of them going straight to, where he wanted, he had promised them, he made, you know, a quick journey into a 40-year journey. New generations. For real. I guarantee you, like, none of the, I'm not going to say none, only like a handful, maybe 10, 20 of the original individuals that actually witnessed those acts is still, is still around. Even if you was a kid, your parent done, left, and now you in your 50s, 60s, type shit. It's not. It's sad. But he did it. He did that not because he didn't want to give, the land to his people. He knew his people wasn't ready to be able to acquire it. Not because he couldn't give it to them. It's because they wasn't equipped or, had the knowledge or the experience to be able to accomplish it. Until then, until they grew or evolved into what they needed to evolve into, they wasn't allowed to, touch the promised land. Right? But really, that's all he wants us to do, just learn, evolve. It don't have to be overnight. Everything takes time, as the seed turns into the sprout, as the sprout turns into a root, as the root turns into, a sprout above ground, until it, turns into that great tree that is meant to be, or, the great whatever you are in whatever capacity that he made you to be, you know. And I'm gonna tell you this: what you think you made to be, you made to be so much more, and you'll find that out. That's what the evolving, the learning, the the trust, the understanding that you'll acquire by talking to him, experiencing, to him or her, to as in all things. And I guarantee you it'll be one of the greatest relationships, all relationships, It ain't nothing you'll have to hide. It ain't nothing you truly have to speak of, but he'll want you to speak because he wants you to know. He wants to know that you know that he's there. And if you ain't speaking, if you ain't acknowledging, except for what you want, and in bad times, you know, and dire straits, you don't want you to just acknowledge him. Oh, Dad, I'm having a problem down here. Please help me out. No, he wants like every parent wants their child to call them every now and then. They could child come and visit them. The child come and continue to honor them and feel to be of use and not forgotten about from something that they created and raised. hmm Is that not so? I'm sorry, my leg was bothering me, so I had to try to take care of it. Caught a little Charlie horse. But you don't see me yelling, hooping, and hollering. You see me still talking and working on it at the same time. And it's in the ankle type shit. So that's what made me jump up the first time. But right now, I'm massaging it, putting some massaging heating oil on it, and massaging it, try to work it out. I don't want this shit to wake me up in the middle of the night, which I don't really have that type of problem, but still, like get it while the getting is good. Right? But for real, he wants us to be true kids. He wants us to be carefree, have fun, but at the same time, in your carefree, your carefreeness, learn, learn. And I'm not saying you gotta go into a school, which or education is good education, or knowledge is good knowledge, but explore, explore life, explore experiences, explore yourself. See who you truly are. A lot of us are just living and not living as who we truly should be, or who we wanted to be, or you know, we allowed the world to change those outlooks because they was changed. You know, they would tell self-made people, the rich ones, the ones that wasn't born rich, but you know did the work that you know benefited them, or helped them evolve into who and what they are now. Ask those individuals if you ever get a chance, or watch some of their biographies, or how they talk about their life and where they come from, how they came from, how long it took them. I'm sorry, but things like that. So you don't have you'll have a better understanding of it. That it's not just, oh, I had an idea and that you call it just I had some money, I put it together, and I'm golden now. It's not that easy. You can have money that will put you in positions where you could do that, and it don't work out because you don't have what's in place, what needs to be in place to be able to make the right decisions, make the right gambles, and it's not really a gamble when you could read into it. And I know that threw you off. Like, how do you read into it with the knowing of, you know, the vibration of it when it insinuates, all good things ain't good, all pretty things ain't pretty type shit, all things that's ugly ain't ugly. It's just, and nothing is truly ugly, and nothing is truly pretty. Everything is its own. It's in its own light. If everybody looked at like me, and everybody looked at like you, and I'm talking about male and female. All males looked at one way, all females looked at one way. However you wanna, you know, in your mind, have it that way. If they all really look like all the girls, if you're a girl, all the women in the world look like you, and all the men look like the man that you most desire right now at this moment. That if you could have him, if you don't have him, that's who you want in your life. He's looking like that, right? And vice versa for the guy, right? Are you gonna be happy with that? Or you gonna you I mean you could whatever one of us you pick will be it, right? But you know that ain't so, right? You know all of us will have a different personality trait or something different about us. Maybe not in looks, but in action and speech and thought and life period. Would it make it easier to find your mate? No. It's the same thing how it is now. It's just that we all be looking alike. You will have to know what you like, have, certain morals and guidelines and how you live and what you would like in your partner because you would like to respect, you know, them too and vice versa. So, there's a growth because she's not gonna like everything you like. You're not gonna like everything she like. But y'all got to, you know, if you truly love who you love, you're gonna explore, journey with her and the things that, she journey into and vice versa. It shouldn't be just one way. Or, it shouldn't be, oh, father the leader, I'm the leader, man or woman. You're both leaders. You're both the head. You're both the tail. You're both leaders and both followers, just like you're both teachers and both students. We are everything all at the same time. How many jobs do you perform in one day? We perform multiple jobs in one day. We just don't get paid for all the jobs that we do. You know, like I said, God is the big young. He's the outline out of every star, out of every billionaire, out of every philanthropist, and anybody that you starstruck on. that you feel is the creme of la creme of all of the cremes of the cremes. God is that nigga. God is that bitch. God is that man. God is that female. God is everything, man. For real, for real. You want stardom? Talk to your heavenly Father and live like how He wants you to live, and you'll be that star, growing how He wants you to grow. You'll be that star. But just know, He'll give if He'll give you what you want, but you gotta give Him what He wants too. We all know this to be fact. Nothing is given for free. That is the statement, right? That is that's the worldly known haiku right there. One of them, right? That nobody is going. You get nothing from nothing, right? Is that not a true saying? So God is not asking for much. He's just asking for growth. He just asks for presence of mind. He asks presence of well-being, of one's health, of one mental, of one actions. Present, conscious, aware, awoke, in tune with the heavenly bodies that will give you all things without you even asking. That's the crazy part, just like I just made that statement. You get nothing for nothing, right? Nobody gets anything, nothing for nothing. Nobody do anything for nothing, right? But God gives you everything for nothing. But we gotta do this, we gotta do that. What do you gotta do? You don't gotta do nothing. If you gotta do it, then you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now. So you do have the choice. And that's all it is you choosing what's best for you. You like that struggle, you like that fight, you like that adrenaline, you like that not knowing what the next day is gonna bring in turmoil. Because it's all turmoil. Because none of it will be happiness. You'll just be happy for a split second for surviving whatever you see. So you survived and received whatever you received. But the next day, it's a restart. It's doing it all over again. I don't want to. I don't. That's not a way for me to live. I want to be able to live comfortably. I want to, do right, be treated right, and everything will be all right. And what's doing right? Doing right is correcting yourself, being on top of yourself, being truthful to yourself, being the king or queen of one's vessel, not the vessel being king or queen of the spirit. How can we call ourselves a God if we don't let God, the God in us, control? And the God is in us is our spirit. Our spirit is a piece of God. It's the breath of life. He blew life into us. He breathed life into us. When he did that, he left a piece of himself in us. Right. We already we already heard stories. We also know of stories in our time, in our era, in our, you know, paradigm of people with serious ailments, unbeknownst to the doctors, mysteriously disappear or heals itself. Is that not God still doing miracles from beyond? Because he was doing it as a man or through man, which he can again, which he has. We have true prayer warriors that pray, lay hands, and cast out demons and shadows. You have some that just speak, say, demon be gone. God forbid if the practitioner know what demon he dealing with. He definitely banishing it. He or she is banishing it. Spiritually, religiously, universally, universally, galactically. Right? Let me put you up on something. You know how we have our doctors and medicine and all this and that, right? They all need it. But at the same time, they're not needed. Cures, drugs, you know, are all tools to help one's body, oneself, to produce or remove or eradicate whatever needs to be eradicated. It's just a help. It's a add-on. Is it truly needed? No, it's not truly needed. The body could do all things. The God in you could do all things, as long as the body is clean, as long as the body is taken care of, as long as the body is respected. It will always cure itself. You're completely healthy. Our body is made to regenerate. Our body is made to, not live forever, but renew itself annually until a certain, set time that our Heavenly Father decided to call us home. Shit, we have individuals that lived up, damn near 1,000 years. In our spiritual texts and our, religious texts. How were they able to do it if we can't do it to this day? You know, nowhere near it. But this stuff was documented. They'll tell you it's because of this, the age that they're in, how pure, how healthy, and all that. In the same way, yes, it is true. But in the same way, it's not. For the simple fact, what what they had back then, we have now. So why what we using now ain't sustaining us the way it used to sustain us? Oh, it's because the contamination and okay, that's 100% right. How did it get contaminated though? Through men, through women. Is that not truth? And what men and women do is doing now, especially in the food industry, doing all types of stuff to the food that ain't naturally done or good for the food, let alone us ingesting the stuff that's so-called supposed to be healthy to sustain us, that is poisoned, that makes it poison, that we put in us thinking that it's healthy, or knowing this is what helps sustain us, and it's really poisoning us. And it's man. We can help Mother Gaia rejuvenate herself as soon as we stop poisoning her. That's what we gotta do. Stop poisoning her. Start doing things that help regenerate her. And I guarantee you our food will regenerate us. Our air will regenerate us. Our taking care of this vessel that is real complicated. The pure vitamins, the pure supplements that truly needs to be, put in us, where, you know, all our veins are healthy, all our muscles are healthy, all our nerves are healthy. And if something is damaged, the body knows, and it start healing. Even now, as our polluted body, our body is trying to heal all the wrongs that's going on in our body. But yet we ain't helping to sustain it. And the ones that are, is helping, they better off than us. But at the same time, they also ain't fully, you know, clean because of the chemicals and the preservatives that, we put in our foods to sustain our foods, to, so-called make food taste good. you know, just something to think about, man. And getting back to God being the biggest gangster. Who that was under him? Who that he called, that we know of, that he called, did not live the famous starstruck life. They not even here. We talking about hundreds of thousands of years, and all of us on the planet know of these people names and the legends of them, even if we don't believe it. Ain't that something? Right? Ain't that something? And listen to the stories of how they lived. All because what? They truly followed the one and only God, the one and only Creator. Did they know who he was when he came? They had a feeling. Did they know for sure that whatever they was asked to do, that it's to their benefit? You know, just like I said, even if we all know of God, but when God go, how you doing? Do you know him? Would you recognize his voice? Would you recognize the situation? Would you follow the call? And this is a real question, for the simple fact this is what you will be experiencing if you do take the call. The call is taking a chance and moving in faith and seeing where where it leads. And as you keep on trusting in faith, your trust will start growing with who or what you're interacting with, because it's showing you, how you say, process, progress. It's showing you progress. Okay, you skeptical, but you did it, and it led you somewhere. You listened again, and it led you somewhere. You listened again, and you seeing the change. You're like, hold on, this is getting better, and it's like, all right, this is getting better and better. I'm starting to see something here. You get the call, you answer it. You go, you don't know what you up against, but it says, yo, don't worry about it. I just do what I need you to do, and you know, all is well. Okay, I did like 6 or 7 jobs with you, and I really got nothing to complain about. Okay, yeah, I got time. I think then boom, and then something big hit. You like, oh, what the hell? I, mm, this is how this is. Oh yeah, call me anytime. Call me anytime. Like, what's good? Like matter of fact, yeah, what's going on? How you doing today? Everything all right with you? You don't need nothing done.
type shit. Like for real. And that's how he want that's how it all fall down, man. Tell you straight like that. All right. There's rules, there's guidances, how he wants us to live. Do your best to live that way, no matter how the world is coming at you. Always not just in danger, in turmoil and chaos, but also in your joy, talking to your heavenly Father, talking to your heavenly family. Your aunts, your uncles, your angels, the archangels, you know, the different prophets, the, you know, your other co-workers behind the scene that also was here on the scene that did it first, kind of, you know. This is our job is to lead each other into the promised land, man. We don't have to find eating if we make everything eating. And that was our job, to make eating expand throughout eternity, not just the planet, throughout eternity. Wherever we shine, it touches. Wherever the light shines, it casts a light on shadow, and shadow has to change or hide, and shadow can't hide from the light. It can run, but it can't hide. And as long as we don't turn our light out, we don't have to worry about darkness creeping in. True talk. Legendary. Y'all have a good one. This is about like 2.5 hours down there. I'm not even sure, but I know it's a little more than 2 hours. All right. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed. Keep an open mind. Let's start, you know, working on our bodies, our true bodies, the vessels we work in, you know, let's all unite and start yelling at Kellogg's and all the rest of, the food major brands that all basically is run under one one umbrella, you know. They give you different names, different origins to say you got different varieties, different entities that's making this money. You think you giving money to ancient mama, but you're not giving money to ancient mama. You know what I'm saying? You think you giving money to just Nabisco. You're not just giving money to just Nabisco, you know. You know, that's like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They the same company, right? Sprite and 7 Up. You know they all under Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You know that, right? Sunkiss and what you call whatever grape soda. Even though Sunkiss got grape, like I said.